So we get back to Okinawa. I go to my team. They gather everybody up. We all meet in the war room. I tell them what I saw just to get everybody stirred up to let them know exactly what it really looked like. Told them some of the stuff I just told y'all, generally.
What was their reaction to that, when hearing it from one of their guys on the ground?
Oh, they were already burning, boy, burning. And so once I got it, told them a bunch of stuff, and this, that, and that, I mean, they're in there pounding on the table and all kinds of stuff. Like, let's get this party started, right now. And so I came back the next day. It's still cloudy as crap, dirt cloud, but I knew some people, and I knew where to go. So a police car picked us up and drove us down now there's a big crowd of people all the way down the side of the roads. They drove us down there, and then we got our crap together and went back out and started searching.
Are you you may have said this at the very beginning of this, but like, are you off from the military at this time? Like, you're in the military, but you're
just on leave.
You're on leave. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't orders coming in like that night, like, yo, be ready?
Well, they were in there pretty quick because I went through the second day. Oh, no, I went through the first day, and I got back that night, and I was covered with dirt and stuff on the subway, and so was everybody. Everybody's covered with dirt. And I got back, and I called back to Okinawa because they knew I was in New York City. And I called back, and I said, hey, I'm alive, and everything's good, blah, blah. They're like, okay, what's your plan? And I said, I'm going to go back in the morning, do some stuff. And he goes, okay, do your thing tomorrow, but then get your ass on a plane because we're going somewhere.
Now, when you go back that next day, though, right, and you said you knew some people.
Yeah.
So were you one of the first responders, like, looking for people who were alive in there, pretty much?
Yeah, there wasn't a whole bunch of people left, sadly, because, so many people had died from the first try of all that stuff happening. And then we kind of, in the beginning, we're kind of like, didn't know where to go or what to do, really, because we're just kind of like, man, it's so massive that you just kind of just go around finding holes and looking under things. And then of course, at that time, we didn't have helmets or anything like that. Then FEMA came along and said, quit climbing and stuff without a helmet, safety gear. So they told us not to. So we went around and found a Verizon truck and stole all the helmets off of that and just did it anyway. So we ended up down in the mall.
Oh, you went down in there?
Yeah, and because you could get down there. And I believe...
What did you see when you got down there?
Man, it looked like once you got down there a ways, you got off track a little ways. A lot of it was still intact. I mean, it's still there. I mean, there's like a dude's coffee sitting on top of a jewelry store cabinet. Whoa. Believe it or not, I don't even know how that's possible. And now I believe while that was happening, I believe Building 47 fell at some point while we're down there because you could hear the beams bending and all.
Building 7?
7 or 47? 47?
It's 7.
Okay, yeah. 7. And I told you how often I think about this. Never. But it had those gigantic monster I-beams. It just bent those things over in there. And didn't get us, though. And we came out, and I told one of the cops on the surface, I said, hey, man, there's a jewelry store down here that's just got loads of expensive jewelry. And I had like a pillowcase looking thing, maybe, or something. It was just kind of something laying around. And we grabbed a whole bunch of jewelry and threw it in that pillowcase. But we're talking high-end, like Rolexes and all that. And threw as much as I could carry in that thing. And I went up there at the top and said, here's this. Here's the name of the store. I don't remember the name. Same one had the coffee sitting on it, though. And gave it to him and I said, this jewelry store's down there, man. If people start strolling around doing stupid crap, you need to get down and empty that out.
Because is he even to get down there?
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy that some of that stuff survives, and then there's like, 20 people that survived.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's very sad.
It was pathetic. And I don't think a whole lot of that stuff was going on because there's too many people watching everything. At the moment, at that time there wasn't, because I think if you got caught doing something, somebody'd stomp you to death.
Yeah.
When like, obviously you're going there, you're trying to help, you're going into help mode because that's kind of what your life is. You're trained to be in situations like this. But like, at any point in that 36 hours, say, from when Building 2 gets hit to the end of the day on September 12th, when you've been down there helping out with all this, did you ever have a moment where you started to think about what this was? Who did this?
Yeah.
And let's go kill some motherfuckers?
Oh, yeah. When I came back the second day and I made the corner where I was going down the alley, like you turn, I was like 1 block away. And I turned the corner to look down the alley to where the World Trade Center's complex would have been. I turned there and walked a ways, and I could see that antenna sticking up out of the ground from off the top of the building. And a part of a wall was over here. A corner of the wall was still standing up over here, the outside wall. And of course, teared up heavily, and just immediately got pissed off. And then we just started searching again. But man, oh man, my emotions were shot out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just wrecked. And that's when we did all this stuff, and then we ended it at the end of that day. And I was sitting around with those other firefighters and contractors and all this other stuff. There's like 8 of us that made a little team together to do our little search. Building contractor, a couple firemen, a couple cops. One of them was so excuse me. Sorry.
You're good.
Supreme Court Justice bailiff was New York City police officer was with me. A guy named Joseph Reiki. And he wrote a letter to the Pentagon for me and all this other stuff for saying I did a good job and helped and all this stuff. And which is nice of him because I didn't give a crap about a medal or anything like that. And we got done, and I was like, okay, y'all did y'all's part. I'm going to do mine. And I did.
So when did you leave to head back to Okinawa? The 13th?
Yeah, the next morning.
Whoa.
Cost expensive ticket too, because nobody was flying. So we had to go a ways off to get an aircraft. I can't remember where we flew out of. I can't recall. We had to drive like 200 miles to fly.
Whoa. I'm just picturing you.
I can't remember where it was. I got the ticket at home, though. I can't think of it right this minute.
I'm picturing you on that long-ass flight now, finally sitting down after a couple days.
Oh.
Thinking about going there.
Yeah.
Now, prior to 9/11, how much intel had you been around, missions, everything put together, whatever it is, involving targeting Al-Qaeda?
Gosh, hardly any.
Yeah.
I mean, almost none, probably.
So you didn't know a ton about them necessarily before that happened?
Because we hadn't even invaded Afghanistan or Iraq at that point, obviously.
Right.
No, I didn't know crap. Really, I mean, my biggest deal with Muslim of any kind was Kosovo. I mean, that's probably the biggest part. That and Abu Sayyaf, they got their whole thing going over there.
No, you had said, let's circle back to that for a minute. You had said that you went to Bosnia in like 01, so that's before 9/11. You were there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Kosovo also in 01?
After 9/11.
After 9/11.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so let's stay where we are then.
Okay.
So you go to Okinawa. In your head, you're thinking vengeance, whatever this is, whoever did this, we're going to go find him, we're going to kill him.
So we get back to Okinawa. I go to my team. They gather everybody up. We all meet in the war room. I tell them what I saw just to get everybody stirred up to let them know exactly what it really looked like. Told them some of the stuff I just told y'all, generally.
What was their reaction to that, hearing it from one of their guys on the ground?
Oh, they were already burning, boy. Burning. And so once I got it, told them a bunch of stuff, and this, that, and that, I mean, they're in there pounding on the table and all kinds of stuff. Like, let's get this party started, right now. And we did a whole bunch of planning. I mean, a lot of planning, really, really fast planning, too. And we weren't the ones picked. So first group wasn't picked. Fifth group was. And third group at some point there, too, obviously.
How do you plan without being picked? I'm just curious. Like, what does that even look like?
Well, it's like, for instance, if you're going to do like a halo jump in Iraq, not a whole bunch of them happen. So you tell all the halo teams to plan how you would take down this particular airfield, whichever one it was. I was trying to think of one not to use, but take down this particular airfield. How would you do it? And everybody comes up with a specific plan down to the gnat's ass on how you would do it. Then you brief that back to the commander, and whichever one suits his end state, depending on the experience of the team, blah, 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 all these things. He takes it all in, and that's who gets to do it. So part of the reason that fifth group might have been picked, besides, I mean, they're skilled, no question. I mean, they're all skilled, was because that's their area of operations, and they know their way around it way better. You know what I mean? First group, I never operated right there where they're standing, so...
How big is first group? Like, how many people are in that?
Well, all special forces back then were 3 battalions. So figure 12-man team, 6 times per company, ABC.
Okay.
So that's 36 times 3. That's all the teams generally. And then you have all the office jobs and everything else, which adds probably another 100.
Got it.
That's about it.
Okay. So you guys didn't get picked, though?
No, we didn't get picked for it. As a unit, we did not get picked. So, not for the initial invasion. So then
When was the initial invasion, like September 16th-ish, something like that?
Oh, it's quick.
It's
yeah.
early,
Yeah,
right?
it's fast.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the teams are just, the ones that are just falling in after that, you know what I mean? All generally doing the same kind of stuff. Then I came up on orders to leave Okinawa to go to 10th Group at Fort Carson, Colorado for February 02. Yep, 02. So literally months later. But I was already knew I was going to. So, I mean, that wasn't a surprise. I'd done my time. And then I went from there back to Fort Carson, Colorado. And then that's when I went to Kosovo.
Are there
First time, I think.
Are there things that hypothetically may have happened between 9/11 and going to Kosovo that you can't talk about on camera?
Very, very good chance. Yeah. That I might have been involved in directly too. But nothing specific whatsoever or anything else.
We're going to leave that one there, people. You're just going to deal with that. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.